We're about to meet a woman who, her name is Rosie. She dropped 110 pounds. She was 300 pounds, yes. Went to 193. She has an incredible story. Let's just take a look.
Hi, I'm Rosie. Weight has always been an issue for me. My grandmother raised me until I was about 5 years old. She always gave me food and candy. The comfort and love that I felt regarding food came from her. My earliest memories of eating abnormally began then. I then went to live with my stepmother and father and traveled quite a bit because my father was in the Army. It was a dysfunctional household. I believe I transferred my feelings about food with me each time I moved. Throughout the years, food brought me tremendous comfort. As a teenager, my weight fluctuated as I bounced between starving myself and binging. I got married at 18, and my husband and I had our daughter by the time I was 20. My weight soared to 300 pounds within 2 years. My husband gently suggested that I go to the gym. In the next few years, I made several attempts to lose weight, only to gain it back again. In 2002, when my daughter Ebony was 14 years old, I realized that I was living a lie. Everything I was telling her about living well and being healthy, I wasn't doing for myself. And then I decided to try to lose the weight once and for all. I made up my own guidelines and promised to be patient with myself. Self-acceptance and accepting responsibility for my health are at the top of my list each and every day.
What an incredibly sweet woman. So let's take one more look at Rosie. Let's get that before picture up there. All right, Rosie's about to come out the door. All right, Rosie, come join the Joy Fit Club. Oh, my God. Okay, I was going to ask you what does it feel like to be so skinny, but girl, I already know what it must feel like.
No,
you look so good.
Thank you.
Do you look in the mirror and go, look at me?
Yeah,
you do?
girl.
You got that? Yeah. But you know what I loved about her? Just reading the note, you had confidence all the way.
All the way.
She had, when she was heavy, it wasn't like you said, oh God, I'm heavy, and you crouched down. No, you were head up.
To get to that point to make the start. That confidence was not there initially at all.
Right.
What was your aha moment?
My aha moment was realizing that my daughter was getting older and that I was basically lying to her about how to live a healthy life and to go for what she knew in life.
You were preaching something you weren't living.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's the best part about being lighter? Because I always hear people say, like, I don't have heart problems anymore, my knees don't hurt. What's the biggest change you felt?
Confidence and looking great and wearing clothes that I want to wear each and every day.
So were you heavy all the way when you were a little girl?
No.
When did you start putting on the weight?
At about 20 when I got pregnant and had my daughter, and it just compiled from there.
But I understand your husband was very gentle about maybe you should go to the gym, honey, after the baby.
Nudge,
right?
nudge.
Nudge, nudge. And you didn't go to the gym?
I didn't go to the gym until he suggested it.
Yeah.
Joy, what makes her unique? Like, what's different about Rosie's story, Joy?
Aside from being so lovable.
You are so adorable.
She is. It's very contagious. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the big points that I got from Rosie is that she started to lose the weight when she was honest with herself. She was in denial for quite a while, and when she became aware of how overweight she was, she just made up her mind she was going to change behaviorally and with the food. And I want to show you some of the food she was eating before.
This is
Unbelievable. Look at what you dined on.
This is real. This is from Rosie. She would start her morning with half a box of Captain Crunch cereal with some milk,
a whole half a box,
a whole lot of eggs with some sausage, and 4 pieces of toast with jam.
So that was breakfast.
I can't even imagine the grocery bill you had.
I know. I had to work to pay it.
All right.
Lunch was 4 hot dogs with relish and ketchup.
Unbelievable.
And then for dinner, she would have things like 2 oversized beef burgers with
Not the
ketchup
pre-made patties,
and the high-fat beef with mayonnaise and ketchup and the works. A whole lot of
There
rice.
aren't that many calories in an onion.
A lot of chips, a lot of dessert, the ho-hos and hostess. But her big vice, every single day she would have 2 king-size Snickers bars.
Come down here, girl. Don't try to hide it.
You ready for this?
Come on. Come on.
Okay.
Okay, what is this?
At the end of 1 year, She totaled 730 king-size Snickers. That's 365,000
Okay, can I ask you one
calories
question?
worth.
If I were to eat this entire basket full, how many pounds would somebody put on by eating all that?
In a year, it averaged out to about 2 pounds per week. That's
So
more
that's-
than 100 pounds at the end of the year.
So this was the hardest thing to give up, Rosie?
It was the hardest thing, but I did it gradually.
And what about now when you see a Snickers?
I don't do Snickers.
You don't do
I don't
Snickers.
do-
Are you cold turkey on all this stuff, or do you every now
Pretty
and
much,
then?
yeah. Pretty
Yeah?
much, yeah.
So what do you have for a snack now that's healthy?
Snack now is 100-calorie pack of popcorn
Yeah.
or some yogurt.
Or I heard you like a Cliff Bar,
Cliff
right?
Bars
a
are
Cliff
good.
Bar good for
They're more
energy.
nutritional.
You know what, though? She lost the weight eating Snickers because she did know that she couldn't give it up immediately. So instead of the king size, she went to the fun size, and she kept it in her
Can I ask
routine.
quickly, what did you eat? Like, how did you change your diet?
The first 9 months, it was just basically behavioral.
Yeah.
And I scaled back on my normal foods that I ate. And then the second 9 months, I started keeping track of my calories and just eating regular food.
And can I just say one other thing this woman did? This is unbelievable. More Magazine had a marathon and half marathon yesterday, and you ran it. What'd you run? And there's some other women right there who ran the half marathon. Girl, you got to feel so good. All right. Thank you, Rosie.
Fantastic,
Joy,
Rosie.
thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Joy.
And again, if you want to join the Joy Fit Club, go to todayshow.com. Time now for a special edition of Look at Me Now, the Joy Fit Club. Believe it or not, more than 140 members have been inducted into Joy's Club.
Which means each has lost at least 100 pounds through diet and exercise.
Our favorite nutritionist, Joy Bauer, is celebrating their success. Take a look. Time for another installment of Look at Me Now, the Joy Fit Club.
We came up with the Joy Fit Club because we wanted to inspire people at home that were struggling with their weight, to feature and show regular people who have lost more than 100 pounds without fancy trainers or chefs or expensive gyms was hugely motivational. I was overwhelmed by how many people had lost more than 100 pounds and wanted to share their story.
In August 2008, I weighed in at my all-time high of 278 pounds.
What's so great about watching these everyday people lose weight and keep it off is they face all the same obstacles that everybody out there faces, yet they prevailed.
Hi, I'm Rosie. Weight has always been an issue for me.
My name is Carrie. I'm 34 years old and have been overweight my entire life.
For me, these stories are so incredibly emotional.
My husband suffered a massive heart attack. He died because we ate for a living.
Each story is very different, and I become emotionally attached to each and every Fit Club member. This is 9,000 calories in just one day. Greg is a guy who struggled with weight his entire life. He had a horrible childhood.
You look hot, baby.
Well, yeah.
Jen and Keith are a couple who gained weight together in the past
Keith and I both loved food and used it to fix all of life's problems.
and then lost weight together. They have all had past failed attempts at dieting, but this time it stuck. To people out there that have tried diets in the past and have failed, you know, one time it's going to work, and it could be this time. These people are brave. They help me to understand what it's really like to walk in their shoes. It's hard, and I really cannot describe the feeling that I get when each and every one of them walk out for their reveal. I just get the chills throughout my body because the studio is cold. I know that they're behind that door and they're super nervous, and when that door opens up and they walk out, it's pure joy. It's pure joy.
Wow. Joy's new book is out today. It is called The Joy Fit Club, and it's a collection of very, very inspiring stories.
And Joy has brought along some members of her club. They're Greg McBride, Jamie Francisco, and Rosie Coates. Welcome to you all.
Hey!
You know, I want to say that my name is on the front of the cover as the author, but really, I wrote this book together with 150 Joy Fit Club members. It's our book.
And it's a collaboration with the Today Show. And I got to tell you, you could read any one of these stories and be completely inspired, can't you, Joy?
Oh my gosh. I mean, you guys really have overcome every single obstacle in the book, and they prove that anybody can lose weight and keep it off.
And Rosie was a little excited to see you when she got here. Hold on. There were some shrieks in the studio. Rosie, you look fantastic. How do you feel?
I feel awesome. doing great, stupendous.
You lost 107 pounds, is that right?
Wow.
Yes.
And 105 for you, Jamie, right?
Yes.
And I think the cool thing too, Jamie, is we saw you guys sometimes months ago, sometimes years ago, and you've maintained it, because that's one of the hardest things to do, isn't it, to keep it off?
Very. It was harder than losing it, I think, actively losing.
And how did you lose it? Remind us.
It was very slow and steady, taking away little things and amping up the exercise as I went.
Okay.
And she gives all these strategies within the book, how she did it, what she used to eat, what she's eating now.
Greg, I said you were hot last time, and I mean it again today. You really you've lost an incredible amount of weight. What was the total?
275.
Astonishing, right? Has it been difficult to keep off, or have you had an easy time with that?
Well, my big joke now is there's no diet like the Today Show diet. But you know, it is difficult, as my counterparts will have told you. It's hard to keep it off, and you really can never lose sight of it. Every day you have to remember it. But one thing that I've come to learn, and you read this in all the stories in the book, is that the minute you embrace the work, it starts to work for you. Like, there's nothing wrong with being committed to this. And no, you can't let your guard down, but it's so worth it.
Rosie, a lot of people are watching this thing, and they want to do it, and they want to try, but they don't think it's in them to lose the weight. It's just too big of a mountain to climb. What advice do you have?
Just to keep doing it until you get to where you're going. I tried for like 18, 20 years, it seemed, until I finally got it, and to figure out a program that's going to work for you.
And what worked for you?
What worked for me was scaling back on what I normally ate, learning about nutrition, and definitely exercise.
Joy, what a labor of love, huh?
And you know what? Whether you need to lose 5 pounds or 500 pounds, these strategies work.
Okay. Inspiring book. Joy, thanks.
Congratulations,
nice,
guys.
Thank you. Y'all look good.
There she is. There's Rosie.
If you have a weight loss recipe that you love, we want to see it. For more information, you can read an excerpt from Joy's book. Go to klgandhoda.com.